to our brothers and sisters, listening out there, to bring the reminder to so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, right? And these are just by names given to us by, the people them that have us, under, their servitude. And again, a lot is taking place right now. And the eyes of so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, is being enlightened, to all the activity that is taking place that is wrong about us, right? So, again, tonight, we bring these reminders, to our brothers and sisters, just like we were reminded as well.
Right.
The nation of Israel, as we say, where as the Lord say, we scattered us through the four corners of the earth, right? So, wherever we are, we going to face this, oppression. Whether we think we in a place where, we might be safe.
Right.
It applies to us. As long as you're from this house, that application, would apply to you.
Right.
And again, there are countless, records, stating that. And again, the one of the, the most, the upcoming now, I think about the Feast Purim, where Esther was reminded of though believe that, you're living in that place, a comfort or
right.
that zone. Mordecai had also, reminder that, these people with all that is going on right now in the nation, and
right.
you being a Jew, you would be subjected to all the oppression that is taking place. And again, just a reminder as well, to the brothers and sisters, our school location, number 1 Morris Street, Point 14.
Right.
Again, come on down to the school, right? And and come break bread, with your brothers. Come break bread with family,
right?
And again, the Feast of Purim, which would be March, 4th and 5th.
I think 3rd and 4th.
3rd and 4th, right? Again, come on down to the school, right? So, number 1 Morris Street, Point 14. Any information, go up on our web pages, isupk.com, Trinidad and Tobago. Find us, on all social media platforms.
Right.
Right. So again, any questions, any, thing, the number to call as well.
The number to call into the show tonight, 342-0081, 466-5391 or 771-1791. Could call in, give your queries, give your comments. We like to hear from the listening audience on the outside.
Right. And again, last week, we brought in our brother, and he shared the experience, with being, in, that environment,
right,
where they would call prison, and and that experience that he shared, again, it was a experience that he would remind, the younger brothers, that life is not a life or a pathway
right.
to go down, right? Because there are consequences, and we even, seeing a lot of things happening right now, and especially, the black community, it has always been a target,
right.
To the people them that oversee the affairs of their business, because now where they seek out is, their own gain, their own desire, and in order for them to seek that out now, they must have you, so-called black, Latino, and Native Indian, to the forefront of any article of the news,
right,
to cause that distraction, so now they could, do their, as we say, their underhand business where they are accustomed doing. And this is why the ISUPK under Commanding General Yana would always bring that reminder, would always, share the importance of us understanding and knowing who we are,
right,
knowing our heritage, knowing our culture, knowing that we are a family, and to understand the structure of a family is again to come be with your brothers, come be with your family, come be with the brothers in this school,
right,
and again to all these religious organizations, right. We know you're looking on, right. Just a reminder, Commander General Yana has always, had that outpouring or that open hand, just like any brother. a lot of these, you know, break-off groups, some of their leaders started, you know, learning from the school and just decided, because they had an ought with their brother, you know, they would, you know, not resolve that issue, but, you know, turn their back on their brother, which, you know, goes totally against what our King, Yahushai, or what the world know as Jesus Christ, stand for.
Right.
The whole premise was based on brotherhood.
Right.
A lost concept of that is us being separated or being apart from each other. And he meant that back to the men who he raised up.
Right.
And made it clear, or made it known to them, the importance of they feeding the flock, of they, you know, going to your brother.
Right.
He made it clear and brought that understanding and say, just as he mentioned, you know, what, you know, Moses could not do in his time, he didn't take away from that.
Right.
What he do now, he implemented, you know, a structure where you could understand more clear why those instructions was laid down, because now the laws came from the Most High God.
Right.
And just like any father giving instruction to his children, Moses received these instructions and passed it on to his brothers and made it known or made it clear through the records of, you know, as we say, these books, that we should adhere to these instructions.
Right.
This family, this house. Right? So again, you know, this is a reminder for our brothers and sisters. So what are we looking like tonight?
What we're looking at tonight is continuing on from last week, Salah, if I may.
Right.
When the brother talking about prison, you understand? Prison, understanding that there's something missing. Why it is our young brothers, young sisters, older brothers, older sisters, you know, have to end up in the prison system. Then you have the leader of the administration of Trinidad and Tobago saying, you know, the places are lawless dump. You understand? What about if we think or study why it is that statement happened?
Right.
What caused that?
Right.
And then what we as a people need to do now to understand why that statement was made. You understand? Is it a lawless dump, or is it a people that don't have laws?
Right.
You understand? A chosen people, a people of God.
That's right.
You understand? A chosen people of the Most High. Then you have to ask yourself why it is in the religious system, you understand, you're not hearing the religious leaders coming out and saying anything concerning the laws of the Most High.
That's right.
Because any institution, any business, any house will have rules, will have laws, will have instructions that will govern that household.
Right.
As you're always saying, this is our family.
Right.
You understand? The family of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, which is Israelites. And we have rules.
Right.
We have laws that governs this nation.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? So now, if brothers and sisters don't have the rules or the understanding of the rules that will govern black people in Trinidad and Tobago, then it's obviously we're going to go another direction. We're going to go the direction of all these other nations, follow their ways, follow their customs, follow the way how they do things, and end up being in positions. For example, the prison system, what the brothers bringing out last week, we was going through, you end up in the prison system, you understand, and in all different manner of things that is not right according to the Lord. You understand? According to the way this nation or black people is supposed to function and operate.
Right.
You understand? So what is highly important is that our people knowing the rules of the Most High, the laws, his laws, commandments, and statutes, which is of utmost importance. You understand? Christ himself, see which we will go into as we're going along, he didn't come to do away with the law.
Right.
Why would he make that statement? Why was that written in the book? You understand? Then you have religious institutions saying that the laws are God done away with. So we don't need no laws. Now, if we don't need laws as a people, then it's obviously we're going to be lawless.
Right.
Because we're lacking something. You understand? And if religious leaders really study the Bible, really go into the scriptures, understand the curses of the Most High that was given in the book of Deuteronomy 28. You understand? Understand the things that we as a people need to do. Not just going in church and jumping up singing, you know what I mean? Beating tambourine. No, it have things that we as a people need to do. To build a house, we go work hard to build a house.
Right.
To buy a car, we go work hard to buy a car. You understand? We doing all these provisions, but when something happens, when it comes to the Most High, we don't have to do nothing.
Right.
You understand? But we as a people, we was given rules, laws, commandments, and statutes to follow. We have to do.
That's right.
And these things supposed to be to the top of the preachers and religious leaders' voices,
Right.
letting our people know, hey, it's time for us to return to God.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And not return to the white image that was given to us, but return to the black Christ, the black God, the black prophets. You understand? Because all these things recorded in the Bible. This Bible is of our foreparents, of our forefathers. You understand? And in here they left things for us as a people that we need to follow. Things that we need to do. Things that is going to take black people from being at the bottom of society. Something that we always complain about, something that we always sigh and cry about. Why it is we are the bottom. You understand? Why it is we can't come up on top. Why it is we are the first hired, the last hired, sorry, first fired. You understand? Why it is these things happening? But the answer's right here in this book. And again, as the officers rightfully bringing out the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under commanding General Yohana, we are out here to bring the truth to our people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And all we need to do as our people is to adhere and do.
That's right.
So like here, sir.
Right, and again, strong point with the brother bringing, and to always remind us that the importance of us being, together.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Because us not being together, it shows, what we face today. And just like, you mentioned concerning with the laws, in here you would learn to and know that the government or the people that are ruling, they would come up with a lot of laws, with a lot of stipulations, with a lot of things that they would use to, let me say, to fence, because the law is always a fence,
Right.
to fence the program that they have, or the agenda that they about to run, or to rule over their tenure or their time. But the laws that we spoke about, what our king, and the men before him, or in that time, that was laid down, was for a generation or a lifetime, throughout all generations. Because the scripture had mentioned that teach this unto your sons, unto your sons' sons, throughout their generations. And we being part of that royal bloodline, the chosen people who the Most High God had chose to oversee his affairs in this earth. We would always be the example, be that pillar where the world would always look on and ask, and as the scripture say, it's in the sight of the nations, what are wise and understanding people.
Right.
Okay.
What would make us wise and understanding? Just as you mentioned, these laws.
Right.
And the governments, as we see what the structure that is taking place right now, it shows that their laws has no structure.
Right.
So every day they would come up with laws. And what we teach here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is that, just as you mentioned, the laws of God are not done away with.
Right.
Our laws, our instructions are not done away with. And to move, or to, as we say, to come back to these instructions, you must come under the men or the man who the Lord chose, and raising up young men in that same spirit, because Christ had, was chosen in his time, on his return, and raised up men. And these men build schools.
Right.
To do what? To bring that reminder to this house, to this family. And as we see that time rolling down, and as we see these nations, as the Most High God continue to pour out that spirit of, as we say, of greed, they would always seek power.
Right.
And the more power they as we say, they run for, is the more that the people in the earth would feel it. It's like I said, the human race.
Right.
The human race is going to feel it, because now is in this run, it had no straight power.
Right.
It had no compassion in running or doing things. And as we talk about that, I just before we think, and let's see our news now.
Right.
And it kind of catch my eyes, because it's basically we're talking about, right? Let's say breaking, right, this is like breaking news. They say Minister of Homeland Security, Roger Alexander, said migrants will have to pay a $700 fee to register. Registration begins January 30th. He said process end would be subjected instant deportation, right? So now we know who that dealing with, and it's like you know the topic, you know that is being brought out is like it in the right spirit, and
Right.
like a reminder to our brothers, because now not knowing who we are, not knowing that we belong to our family, these are the kind of things that we would face
Right.
daily. And as I say, if these, as we say, religious leaders or these groups
Right.
profess to be our brother, then you know what they would do? They would seek out the truth.
Right.
Because now the
Okay.
truth does one thing. The truth will always check you. And how it will check you by you actually telling someone that, hey, what you're doing is not right.
Right.
So you're doing the wrong thing, as we just say.
Right.
To make that correction, you must do the right thing.
Can.
That is the truth. So we have.
Well, because we will start at Matthew chapter 5 and verse 17 with the Lord. Think
Alright.
not. And as the officer looking for the
Yeah. Yeah.
in the meantime, I'll just touch on a little bit again on what you're saying with the Homeland Security Minister, you understand? Because the migrants, they had a problem already. Now they had to pay $700, right? And they had a problem already where they was going to register and getting deportation letters. You understand? And if our people understand that the Venezuelans, the tribe of Asha is their
Yeah.
brothers,
Right.
you understand? And not look at them as somebody separate. You going to know so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, we have to stand up for one another.
All right.
You understand? Not saying go out and march and protest and all these different
Yeah.
things, because we have done these things for years.
Yeah, for years.
You understand? Our generation, the generations before us have done these things for years, and we have no results. But what we have to do is what the Lord tell us to do in the book of Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. The Lord take gather ourselves together. You understand? Gather so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man, and start knowing who you are. Start understanding who's your brothers around you. Start understanding your sisters around you. Start understanding the heathens, these other nations, and their plans. Our forefather David had said they have taken crafty counsel against our people.
Right.
And if you look at what's happening to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian now, black people in the ghetto, we don't know the way the zone up is going.
Right.
The zone of special operation.
Yeah.
You don't know how that going down already. You understand? Because when you look back at the track record, you have seen where all these SOEs took place.
Right.
You understand? Against our people.
That's
Then
right.
we've seen what happening to our brothers and sisters, which is the Asherites, the Venezuelans, you understand? We've seen what happening with them.
Right.
So that is why David was saying back then, in his time, these other nations, these heathens, as the Bible will mention them as being China, Moabites, which is Chinese, Ammonites, Japanese, Elamites, the East Indians. Inside they have the records
Right.
of the heathens. But we're not going to read it. When I say we're not going to read it, the religious leaders not teaching us. So now we could go home and study and understand, hey, what really going on wrong about us? What really happening? And stop getting caught up in all the glitz and glamour. But our forefather David said they have taken crafty counsel against our people. And if we look at it right now, that is exactly what happening again. Let you know the words of this book is true. The words of this book is real. This book is not a book whereby we go in church and dance and sing. No. This book shows the oppression of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And look, if you take time and look at the people that crying out right now, who we seeing crying out? All over social media, who crying out? Our people. Who want jobs, who want this, who want that. Do you understand? Because the hammer coming down. The hammer coming down on our people. It's starting to squeeze our people, but we have to understand that this Bible shows you the way out. Black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man. You understand? But we have to do what the Lord say. We have to return to his ways. You understand? When you have a ticket, go ahead, Officer Barry. It's like yes, sir.
Can. Just touching a little bit on the proposed special zones and what is important for we people to know during this time. A proposed security law to be debated in Parliament tomorrow will give Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar the power to declare high crime communities, special zones, subject to with a warrant and curfews lasting up to 72 hours. The bill is listed on the House of Representatives order paper as the Law Reform Zones of Special Operations, Special Security and Community Development Measures. According to the bill exploration notes, it allows the Prime Minister to declare special zones in TNT where there are reasonable grounds to believe that there is rampant criminality, murder, gang warfare, high escalating levels of violence, or a threat to the rule of law and public order. Right? So it's something that we brothers and sisters and them had to understand. You know, it come like the state of emergency go just be in the areas where blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians and them reside, and during that time we had to be, as I say, wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Because the moment you look to protest or do something out of the way, they have all rights to, you know, to do as they please. So brothers and sisters have to be very careful and understand, you know, move with wisdom.
Right.
You know.
Right, and you know, just you know, to add on, you know, the brother just read there, and this is nothing to take light, right? This is something to pay special attention to, right? And is as I mentioned, you know, they are going to, you know, target regardless of what.
Right.
So it's not like they're not going to, or they have it in mind. This is a structure that is set up. And we would always advise, you know, our brothers, you know, our people, you know, that, you know, when, as we say, these other nations come to push, as we say, whatever in the community, it should be rejected. This is the first step in growth. Because now you need to understand the importance of being, as we say, a community leader.
Right.
Because we have a lot of brothers in these communities who are leaders.
Right.
And if you really want to see the well-being of, you know, the young ones coming up in the community, this would always be the first step.
Right.
And not accepting that gift would always have consequences, and this is why we mention that the laws that we walk after our family, they are not done away with.
Right.
This is why the any ruling government that comes into power, they would always use whatever law, whatever, you know, whatever way that they would filter their business, and I must structure it as business because it is business, filter it in the community. And this is why they would always have the upper hand to target this community, because the control of the community, it is, as we say, it beyond their grasp or beyond their control. So it is like they would use that power now to create a new generation, as we say. or who they would deem to be the next community leader, know this. You want to be, as we say, or you want to learn your history or your instructions, again, the Lord is opening up this opportunity to brothers and sisters in the Black, Latino, and Native Indian community.
Right.
That the Most High God always had righteous black men to bring this reminder. He always had, you know, the men whom he have, you know, poured his spirit on.
Right.
And to bring this reminder to this household. And we see that spirit circulating right here in the ISUPK. Because in here, we would be, we are the only, and I'm not saying this in any boastful way, being around a short time and, you know, seeking for truth, to see the walks or the condition that brothers, sisters came through, the Most High God must be looking over this household.
Right.
The spirit, as we say, our king must be, as we say, making, you know, that request unto the Father, and
Right.
make it known that there are still, you know, people, or as we say, still our family, or still men with walking after these instructions.
Right.
This is why what is going to be set up is going to be the structure that would oversee the affairs of what is taking place. But as you read, the communities are targeted.
Right.
And in these predominant communities, 99% of the people are black people.
Right.
Okay.
Hispanic people and Native Indian people.
Right.
Okay.
And as I mentioned before, I know when you talk about this was happening before, I could remember brothers going out
Correct.
in the registration process
Correct.
from the school, and, you know, giving out, you know, water, giving out, you know,
Food.
the necessities, the
Right.
needs of our Hispanic brothers. We have videos on it.
Right.
Okay.
And this was a process way before. So now it is like what they are doing is actually, as we say, driving fear
Right.
into the people, because we see what's going on with our brother Issachar,
Right.
with everything that is taking place right now in America, in and around the world.
Can.
And we should take heed, as we say, if we're listening on to the program, if we're listening to the show, to brothers and sisters, call the number, leave a message on the inbox,
Right.
leave a message. The response to that message is of utmost importance to us, to this house,
Okay.
right?
Can.
Where are the other scripture?
Can,
Right,
sir.
yeah,
Book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 17.
right,
Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets.
right. And this so, you know, is like where in, as we say, in these organizations who take up these records,
Right.
and as we say, read this, as we say, this verse in this chapter, and it recorded when it right in red, right?
Can, sir.
And you know, everyone know that, especially to our brothers and sisters who have a Bible,
Right.
and they know anything that highlighted in red would be Jesus Christ.
Right.
Okay.
We didn't know him as speaking. And in order to say as a follower of Jesus Christ, and he's mentioning that,
Right.
now I must do something, a self-examination. And as the scripture says, examine yourself daily
Right.
to see if you're walking in this faith. If I read in these instructions, I must examine myself. Because now as a follower of Christ, and he said, think not that I am come to do away with what?
With the law
With the law.
or the prophets.
Or the prophets. Who are the prophets? The men that were before him.
Right.
The men that were before him, he speak about and these men and them brought the instructions, as we say, it passed down.
Right.
These men were men that stood for these laws. And imagine our king, as you say, highlight or making it known to the people. Right? Go ahead.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
Right? And what we're seeing right now in every organization, structured, as we say, or made, or man-made, because now they will always say that, you know, the Bible is man-made, but
right.
what type of man? Is this man from this house, or is this man part of this family?
Right.
It's as the scripture says, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? That you know, caused all this. That man is that same man that came up with all these religions.
Right.
All these, again, philosophies, and as we say, filter it through who? Through the scattered, through this house, through this family. Because now as sheep, the scripture is labeled as sheep without a shepherd. This is why our king, being, as we say, the shepherd, or being, you know, the one who, you know, the Most High saw it fit, as we say, one of his most dedicated soldier, to uplift or to remove, you know, this curse that was upon the house,
Right.
that we could have a pathway back, being from the beginning.
Gone.
And he said, think not that I am come to do away the law or the prophets.
Right.
Go ahead.
Can. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
But to do what?
But to fulfill.
What we're doing here right now is fulfilling as well. We doing just like we've been taught to bring this reminder to this house. This is the fulfillment. And the fulfillment is to remind brothers and sisters that the laws of God are not done away with.
Right.
The men who we taught them to teach this.
Right.
Anyone that does the opposite from this house would be deemed, you know, as we say, disloyal,
Right.
or a traitor. You know, like how they always, as we say, in religion and a whole, it must have they always like to use that term, that Judas or whatever.
Right.
But they don't understand the whole concept behind it. Because now, fallen victim to the elements of this society, you would have that mindset,
Right.
a betrayal. Because now you accept something to destroy your brother, to destroy your family, to
Right.
destroy that structure. And this is why these laws are not done away with. The fulfillment would always be righteous black men teaching this
Right.
to the fullest. Just like we've been taught to go out and to do what? To bring or bring this reminder to this house.
Okay.
This is why you could say, on these two hang all the laws of the prophets. All. Not some.
Right.
All. Because with this, it would always, it's like that structure was never removed. That structure was a structure that would be overshadowed
Right.
by the teachings of men, the teachings of this society on a whole, with their, as we say, their religion.
Right.
And we must say Barakatai Hawaii Oshai for commanding General Yohanan. Being able to go through the wires of the test, and being able in the spirit of the Most High and Christ to stand that time.
Right.
And being able that we, as we say, were part, and we still, you know, in amongst our brothers.
Right.
This is why we could bring that reminder. The separation of us is us, not being in that same mindset
Right.
again. We still commune, we still, meet our brothers, we still bring the reminder, just as the scripture told, go bring that reminder to them. Don't be stubborn and rebellious. We still bring in that fulfillment.
Right.
Because why? It is important for us as a house and as a family to know this, know this structure. So that.
Can. Verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, not one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled.
And we're seeing everything that is being filled. So like how they will come and say the altar, they sort of remove this. If you go back and like how a lot of our people say, hey, that is our oppressor book.
Right.
But it have nothing good or to mention concerning our oppressor inside of it. So how that could be? You know what is the oppression part? Is you being oppressed in your mind, thinking that the people that who teaching you this belong to this household.
Right.
When truly they're not a part of this household. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I know can say so like yes, sir, because this book belongs to our people. This book is
right.
black people book.
That's right.
You understand? And no way the Elamites, which is the East Indians or the Moabites, the Chinese, no way these other nations could come and hold your records. You understand? And teach you it. We said teach it in the spirit.
Yeah.
You understand that it's supposed to be taught. That can happen because we, as a people, we can go and pick up the records of the Elamites, which is the East Indians, for example, like the Bhagavad Gita and the Sanskrit. We can pick up that and go and teach them that in the right spirit, on the way that they will really grasp it. Because it don't belong to us. You understand? That belongs to them. So now if their people take it and teach their people it, is obviously they're going to get the essence or the true way it's supposed to be taught. You understand? This book is black people book. You understand? It's about way black people just talk. You understand? A certain vibe that is carry. A certain way how they just function with one another. And that is how now, as the officer is saying, we now being able to teach this book, the people before us being able to teach this book and bring it on in the same spirit. You understand? That our forefathers bring it on in.
That's right.
You understand? Just rolling back a little bit to when we were saying, when you was reading, we think not the Lord say he came to destroy the law. When Christ said he come to destroy the law, he did not come, to destroy the law. There's something that we had to take into consideration and understand.
Right.
The things that the prophets of old laid out, you understand? Moses and Isaac and Ezekiel. You understand? And all these prophets laid out. Christ said he didn't come to do away with what they laid out. So what that going to tell the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man now? That now, then we have to understand or investigate what is these laws that we need to do? What is these laws that we need to keep? You understand? And when you start doing your homework or you start understanding, again, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is here. We have classes every day of the week. You understand?
That's
You start understanding that there are laws. For example, where we always talk about the Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You understand? The Feast of Purim, which coming up.
Right.
You understand? After the Feast of Purim is the Passover. You start understanding the history, the culture. You understand? The rules that Christ said he didn't do away with.
Right.
Then you understanding now, hey, we as a people, we are separate. We have our own rules, our own laws, our own culture. Our own laws. You catching what I'm saying? Then now you're going to understand that what the oppressor and these other nations give us that we're holding on to year after year and generation after generation, then we understanding that this don't belong to us.
Right.
You understand? So when Christ said he didn't come to destroy the law of the prophets, these laws still stands to today. He said he didn't come to destroy but to fulfill, to let blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians know, hey, we could keep these laws. These laws is the real deal. These laws is the laws that is going to change the ghettos from the condition that they're in.
That's right.
You understand? Because if we take a few of these laws and put it in the ghetto, you understand? Because, of course, there are things in the Bible that talk about where blacks, Hispanics, and even Indians, we're not supposed to be smoking. You understand? There are foods we're not supposed to be eating. Apply certain of these laws. Not, I ain't saying certain of these laws like that is all we're supposed to apply. But just apply certain of these laws in black communities and you're going to see black communities change. You understand? You're going to see black people starting to rise. We wouldn't be running to these other nations for what they have. Then you're starting to understand how we will deal with one another. You understand? As blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And then you will start to realize now, hey, we was doing this before.
Right.
And we could do it again.
Mm-hmm.
We could depend on one another. Even if these other nations put whatever law, whatever ZOZO or SOE, we understand as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we have a rule, we have rules, laws, and commandments to keep. What they put in place, that ain't going to affect us.
Right.
What we need to do is to focus on what the Lord put in place for us.
Okay.
You understand? What the Lord put in place for us, and keep that in your mind. Keep that in your heart, which is your mind, as the scriptures just say.
Right.
You understand? And whatever these other nations doing, we will not worry about that.
Right.
You understand? But again, only religious leaders saying that the laws of God done away with, and we be looking to these other nations for their way, then we're going to get tapped in the things that they do. And when we get tapped into things that they do, that is how we, as we are saying, we're going to end up in the prison system.
Right.
You understand? We end up in the jailhouse, we end up in doing all different manner of things that is not beneficial for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. But the Lord tell us we are a separate people and a holy people. Then we need to separate ourselves. That Martin Luther King dream was a lie.
Right.
Okay.
Because he for himself came out and said, you realize he lead his people in a burning house.
Right.
We need to be separate, just like the Lord tell us to do what? Be separate.
Right.
You understand? So like I say, if I could, the book of Deuteronomy 7 and verse 6, you want to get off somewhere, right? There are something that I wanted to change. We have. If you want to get it, right?
Yeah. Come on.
Right.
Book of
yeah, go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. We'll go back to where we was earlier, right? For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. You understand? And again, holy in the Hebrew means kodash, separate, to be separate. The Lord wants us to be separate. The Lord wants us to be above all people upon the face of the earth. But how could we be above if we intermingling in the same things that they are intermingling in?
Right.
We can't be above. You understand? In the Bible, the Lord talks about interracial marriage. We can't be above if we interracially marrying into these other nations. We can't be above if we eating the things that they eat.
Okay.
Because there are foods that the Lord tell us that are food, and there are foods that He's showing us that is not food. You understand? It have ways we're supposed to dress. We have high holy days and feast days that we as a people supposed to keep. We can't be separate if we mixing up in Christmas and Easter and birthdays and all these different things.
Walk upcoming again.
You understand? Valentine's Day. You understand? New Year's Day and all these different things. We can't be separate if we holding on to the things of the oppressor. Black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man, it's time for you to come into this school that Commanding General Yohana have opened the doors to all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and start learning your culture. Start learning your history. You ain't going to find that nowhere else. You ain't going to find this nowhere else, so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man. And remember, the doors are open 24/7 to all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to learn what your forefathers knew, to learn what your foreparents from your grandmother generation to your parents missed. You, so-called black man here in this right now, you have the opportunity to understand what the Lord requires from you, which is utmost important. And most importantly, you're not going to learn this in religion. You're not going to learn this in these religious institutions, so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man. So like yes, sir.
That's right. You had something, you had a point of it?
Can bringing out our scripture here from the book of Joshua 1 and 8. This book of law shall not depart out of thy mouth,
Right.
but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, and thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein.
Right.
For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
Right.
Break it down.
Understand?
Yeah, so basically it's showing you the pathway for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians
That's right.
is basically to get back to we laws and
Right.
apply we self to we laws, and it's only then we will start to rise as a nation.
Right.
That's right. Right.
Okay.
And again, a good point.
Sound Christ.
Sound Christ. Right. And you know, just as you draw a point, to at least, as we say, or introduce this in the community,
Right.
right? And as we say, we're not taking away anything from this. This supposed to be in the community, and the desire of learning it should be desire as again, as our record said, as newborn babe. You must have that desire, because a lot of our people desire to know the truth,
Right.
and then a lot of our people are distracted by lies.
Okay.
So now that desire would always weigh in a balance,
Right.
and the option of as we say the oppressor gaining ground as they continue to gain ground is again, just as you mentioned in the earlier part of the show, as David mentioned, they are confederate against thee.
Right.
Okay.
They come together with one consent, as you say, because their agenda is always to push whatever it needs to keep you, as we say, against one another in this community.
Right.
And they would go in and, as we say, change up. But we have, as we say, a father, as you say, change not, because he would always keep his promise, just as he had mentioned to us,
Right.
towards us. And any change would know this, as again it say, is a fearful thing to fall in the hands of the Lord.
Right.
Don't let, as you see like how, as you say, your father come in, give warning. Don't let your father fall on you.
Right.
Because now, as you say, sometimes as you say, a young child say when daddy come in and take it, you get fever, get sick.
Can.
Because now he don't want to do that.
Right.
Any good father that has children doesn't want, as we say, to bring that rod, or that, as we say, that punishment down on them.
Right.
Because now he leave instructions, and the expectation of these instructions being adhered to, as we say, is highly or likely that it should be followed through. But knowing, again, a father knowing or understand the word, what a child is, and this is why he could always give that mercy or that time period to change.
Right.
Because you understand that is a child you're dealing with. And as we see, as all oppressors, they don't understand a child, because again, as we see, what we've seen taking place with our brothers from the tribe of Issachar, in no remorse. The scripture says, as we say, the regard, and no regard for the old, neither the young.
Right.
Okay.
We see it clear. Every as we say, the earth seeing it clear.
Right.
But we deny it now. Notice the truth, as we say, ye shall know the truth, like John 8:32. And the truth is what is going to make you free.
Right.
It's going to free your mind.
Okay.
You want your mind to be free. Now come, as we say, come and know who you are. Again, the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, Houston, Texas.
Right.
Come break bread with your brothers. That doesn't mean to say that brothers and sisters who, as we say, can't make it, when, as we say, we always come together on that time.
Right.
Brothers and sisters down here in Trinidad, who, as we say, who wouldn't be able to let me say, to move, come on down to the school.
Right.
As we say, the Feast of Purim, that we say, that is like it warming up, coming up.
Okay.
I mean, as we say, if you're in this house, you know the beginning of the year is the beginning of spring,
Right.
when things start to grow.
Not January the 1st.
Not January the 1st.
Okay.
Right now we're seeing, as we say, snow in Florida. And this is supposed to be our, as we say, part of the tropics.
Right.
Just right off the coast of some of the Caribbean islands. Facing, as we say, the condition, as we say, the dead of winter.
Right.
this should be a reminder to us and know that this house or this family or this structure are always, stood with the instructions laid down for.
Right.
Rabbi said the prophets, then they do away with the prophets. He didn't put them aside.
Right.
He make it known, hey, these men, the instructions, because now the prophet spoke about him. So if somebody spoke about me before time, why should it show the fulfillment of everything?
Right.
That's why he said this is the fulfillment. Because now we would continue to do what? Speak that, hey, Christ is a black man from the tribe of Judah. When you read Revelation 1:13 to 15, they give you a clear description. As you see, our oppressor, their religion that our man made is a depiction. So
Right.
just the flip in the script is there, as we say, just as Daniel said, they change the time, they change the season,
Right.
change the images. That they're flipping the script.
So like I say, family, let's go back to our story. I was saying that it had this pastor, right? We was talking, showing him he was going with the image of Cesare Borgia, the white image of Christ.
Right.
You understand? And I was showing him whereby Christ is a black man, going Revelation, you know what I mean? Show the prophets black. Seen the thing blinking there as well too. You understand? And when he realized Christ is a black man, he said, nah, I had to go in church and let the congregation know Christ black.
Right.
You understand? So he have his superior over him. You understand? He could not make it to church whatever day he could not make it, and he now take upon himself to say, boy, I'm going in church, I would let the congregation know Christ is black. You understand? He going in. See, when he finished teaching whatever the case might be, and he come back out, say, boy, I'm going in and tell them Christ black, whatever the case might be. He say he get a call and he pass out, tell him, hey, we need to talk, eh? That way teaching there, and that goes to show how the religious institution set up. You understand? They have their head with their own agenda. Now it's written right in the Bible, showing you that Christ is a black man, and even the religious leaders rejecting it. You understand? Even the religious leaders rejecting it. So what will that show with other things in the Bible? You understand? We as a people, we need to wake up and understand. Follow me as I follow Christ, as Peter says. Peter or Paul, one of them, I can't remember exactly what it was. Follow me as I follow Christ. Christ said the laws of the Lord is not done away with. We need to keep the laws, so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man. You understand? So like, yes, sir.
And as I say, that why say, my sheep hear my voice.
Right.
I know them.
Follow me and I know them.
Though that voice, these instructions, the fulfillment, would always talk the right thing, the truth. The truth would always trump everything. Everything, right? Again, so I know we're up on the time, right? So just reminder to our brothers and sisters, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, again, join us March 3rd and 4th, right?
Right.
For the Feast of Purim, come on down to the school, number 1 Morris Street, Point Fortin, right? Again, contact the number. The number to contact is 479-8286,
right?
Right? Any information, leave your message on the inbox. Again, just a reminder, Commander General Yana is putting together again, food and clothing drive, right? Stay tuned, to all our social media pages for the information. Right.
Yeah, you could also email us at isupktrinidad@gmail.com. You understand? If you have questions and you want to ask a question live on the classes, you could tune into the classes during the week. Any day during the week, you could ask your questions. You understand?
Yeah, so like even on the show as well. So you type in your questions. If you want to ask our questions, you could call the number, right, and ask the question. We bring out the question on the show.
Right.
ISUPK, Trinidad and Tobago, under Commanding General Yohana. We will be live on the streets, 91.9 FM, every Thursday from 7 p.m. Hosted by Officer Sawapya Allah and Officer Makwaya.
West to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me.
ISUPK, under Commanding General Yohana, live every Thursday night from 7 p.m. on the streets, 91.9 FM.
Join the winning team with Pasta Alkaline John
every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. and every Thursday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
live on the street 919 FM as he talks about Lviv, the power of 5 fruits, one of the most powerful antioxidant supplements on the market today. The 5 superfruits in Lviv are mangosteen, acai, pomegranate, goji, and nuni. These fruits have a positive and profound impact on human health performance and disease. Join him as he gives live testimonials of the Lviv healing powers. To get more information, you can contact Pastor Alkaline John at 516-286-7079, or you can visit his webpage at www.alkalinejohn.com. Remember,
every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. and every Thursday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
live on the street 919 FM.
All right. So here we go, guys. You know, I'm always excited, right? I'm just a happy guy, a big bubble of fun, excited every day. Because once I open my eyes, I have plenty to give thanks for because I'm in better health. Not much to say that. Some people, they drive to work, they walk, they take taxi, and some, an ambulance came to pick them up. Some, they are still in the hospital warded. Some, they couldn't even move this morning because of so much pain. Some who had, whether it's heart failure, stroke, whatever it may be. But we have to give God thanks for life in spite of. So that's why I say he's greatly to be praised. And I say great day to everyone that's listening to the sound of my voice. This is your boy, Health Alkaline Ricky Ricardo, coming to you live on the street, 91.9 FM. And we are here to bring you the gospel of health. Hear me good. The gospel of health, guys. You seeing it? So, great day to those who are in Trinidad and Tobago listening, who are in the Caribbean, who are in North America, Europe, wherever you may be. You call the number after the program. Find out the specials we have right now with the call after the program at 1-868-333-4170. Let me give you that number again. 1-868-333-4170. I'm excited because I'm pulling testimonies now. Today I've added 2 new testimonies. You're going to hear them. One with a guy, diabetes and lymphedema. I just got that on Saturday. You're going to hear him speaking himself. And another lady, that's an old testimony I pulled from way over yonder. And I have to pull some more testimonies to bring on the program. But rest assured, you're going to hear all of them. But I cannot play all in one program. You hear me good? So let's get started. This information about herbs, fruits, antioxidants, and other products is for general health information only. This presentation is not to be used as a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment of any health condition or problem. You should not rely on information provided in this statement for your own health problems. Any questions regarding your own health should be addressed to your own physician or other healthcare provider. Health Alkaline Ricky Ricardo makes neither warranty nor express or imply representation whatsoever regarding the accuracy, completeness, timeliness, comparative, or controversial nature or usefulness of any information contained or referenced by these statements. Health Alkaline Ricky Ricardo does not assume any risk whatsoever for the person listening to this information contained herein. Health-related information changes frequently, and therefore, information contained in these statements may be outdated, incomplete, or incorrect. Statements made about products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, mitigate, cure, or prevent any disease. Use of these statements does not create an express or imply physician-patient relationship. You are hereby advised to consult with a physician or other professional healthcare provider prior to making any decision or undertaking any action or not undertaking any action related to any healthcare problem or issue you might have at any time now or in the future. You agree that neither Health, Alkaline Ricky Ricardo, nor any other party is or will be liable or otherwise responsible for any decision made or any action taken or any action not taken due to your information, due to your use of information presented here today. You also agree that neither Health, Alkaline Ricky Ricardo, nor any other party are not medical doctors, and we don't want to practice medicine. We just want to teach you how to live healthy. Isn't that good? All we want to do is to teach you how to live healthy. How many of you want to join that group that just want to live healthy? That is all of us. I'm speaking for you. That is all of us. You know what he's saying? All of us and Uncle Gus. That's every one of us. And like I said to a gentleman this morning, what will it hurt you to use our product and give your body a fighting chance of healing itself? Because for the past 10 years, you have been living with diabetes. And you know what? It's getting worse and it's getting, how you call it? In Trinity, we go say, worse. But it wouldn't hurt you to pick up your phone. Those who are home and listening right now, if you're at work and you're listening, write the number down. Don't be afraid to call. Don't be afraid to call. Find out the specials that is on and start to use the product where you will be experiencing better health in your life because you already have the diagnosis. You already do. So, should I play Dr. Joe McCord? Here's what. I'm playing Dr. Joe McCord after. Let me play the guy who had lymphedema. This is fresh off the press. This is only Saturday this came in, you know. Saturday. You hear me good? Let's listen to this guy